This is how I lost $852 day trading NASDAQ last Thursday. I took this trade last Thursday. The date was the 23rd, but I'm now recording this trade recap on the 27th. I did want to make it a priority to get back and record this trade recap and make sure that it did end up recording everything. But coming into the day, this is our 9 o'clock candle. Here, we can see that ES is still hovering underneath all-time highs, and NASDAQ has pushed above them in the prior day PM session. So after the, not prior day meaning while I'm taking this trade, of course, the 22nd. So the evening of the 22nd during Asia session, London, ES is already, not ES, NQ is obviously making deeper pushes into all-time highs. ES is still hovering underneath all-time highs. So we have SMT here on the daily. Looking at the hourly, we have, obviously we look at our draws on liquidity. We have on ES, we have this daily level here. We have, let's see, these are 73 equal highs. This daily level here. NASDAQ, all we really have is this new all-time high level. This is going to be 36, but I'll get it close enough. So, coming to the morning, I felt like price could have gone either way, and I just need to speak on this before I get into this trade recap. I've been definitely over trading the past week or two. In this chop here, price is not ideal. We're generating lots of liquidity to the upside and downside, but we're just in this chop zone and very well could have been avoidable. I've been tunnel visioned here for the past week or so, not in my right mindset when it comes to trading. I'm in a little bit of a drawdown right now. I'm recording this trade recap a few days, obviously after I take the trade, but I did end up taking another loss, a little bit larger. But I'll record that after this video. But if I could jump down to the 15-minute here, nonetheless, if I pull open the 23rd, let's get to the 10 o'clock candle, kind of see what we're working with here. So this is our 15-minute chart. This is going to be our 945 candle. This is our 945 candle on ES. So what we're working with on both indexes is a situation where NQ has all these previous day hourly lows, obviously because it's been pushing away from it and put in a new all-time high. And during Asia session, what we did is we get a sweep of all these lows on ES, and now we're getting legs back to the upside. And what we do is we put in a high above Asia session high with London session. On NQ, we do not. But that becomes ultimately invalidated at the 10 o'clock candle. As we can see, NQ comes up, sweeps out both these highs. ES does the same. ES puts in relative equal highs with this hourly level here. Now, as I mentioned, coming into the day, I was open for what price was willing to show. Did not really have a clean bias coming into the day. And that's another thing I need to make note of and reflect on is I feel like on my good winning trades, I have some sort of a general idea of what price could do coming into the day. On this trade, I did not. Just make a note of that one. But as we see, we are in hourly bullish order flow, 15-minute bullish order flow. Never disrespected any gaps on the 15-minute. We're in bullish order flow in the hourly. And I ended up trading against the trend here, which was not my smartest behavior. But I will explain my mind as to what I was thinking at the time. So let me drop down here to the 5-minute on both indexes. And what we have is a situation where NASDAQ comes up, sweeps out London session and this Asia session high up here. And what we do is there's this little daily opening gap that gets finished filling in on NASDAQ completely. So once we got the free action out of this that we got, we could have gone two ways here. We could have made a retrace to continue higher, take out this daily level, or we very well could have reversed and targeted all this low resistance liquidity on the hourly and 5 minute. I mean, we got these 5 minute lows. I mean, we've got a 5 minute low here that was formed at 850. This 5 minute low, and then at market open, we got this 5 minute low. So this low, all these lows, we got 1, 2, 3, 5 lows marked with the London session low, finished with the London session low. And we've got this hourly low, which swept out some of this liquidity. And then we've got all of the previous day hourly lows here. So lots of liquidity potential to the upside with, or not upside, but downside with upside potential draws being eliminated. Was what my thought was. All we had was this all-time high level here. So with targets to the upside being eliminated, and paired with the fact that on the next 5 minute candle, we inverse this 5 minute gap. And what we end up actually doing is doing it on both indexes. Obviously, ES's is a little bit smaller of a gap, but we did end up inversing it on both indexes, as we can see here with our brown boxes. And then what we do after I saw how deep this push got to these 5 minute lows here, I have not entered at this point yet. I saw how deep this push got on this 5 minute candle. With how relatively close we were to these 5 minute lows and all these draws on liquidity, at this point we're closer to those draws than we are to this all-time high level. So at this point, with 5 minute order flow being disrespected, I thought that this was going to be a kickstart of a new disrespectful order flow on the hourly, 15 minute, etc. So what do we get? We get a push down, we get a retrace. On this retrace is when I end up entering. On this 5 minute, on this retrace here, we get a retrace up into this inverse gap, as we can see here. And once we break 1 minute structure back to the downside, marked by this low here, I enter in after this candle close. I enter in, and what did I risk? I risked up here above these 1 minute highs, which is more so me paying attention to this 5 minute fair value gap here. This blue square is our 5 minute fair value gap that we need to be respecting to continue short. And sometimes, to eliminate the possibility of me getting exact stopped out because of where I've placed my stops in the past, I have put this stop a little bit. I gave myself a little bit of wiggle room in case we were to test this 5 minute fair value gap exactly. As you can see, we did the same thing here, in which I thought we were going to immediately go and hit take profits, because that's what's happened to me. It's been a recurring thing. But after I entered in this trade here, I want to show you what's happening to ES. So once we make this 5 minute inversion on ES to the downside, we break 1 minute structure back to the upside, and we never break 1 minute structure short, which I think was hurting NASDAQ's case here. I mean, we have this 1 minute fair value gap here, this 1 minute fair value gap here. Look how many times all these gaps are tested, and we just never break structure to the downside. But in that same regard, what we have is ES making 5 minute highs while still respecting this inverse gap. So we have ES making new 5 minute highs, MNQ not. So if I did not enter this trade where I did, there would have been a likely chance that I would have entered it after we put in an SMT with the 5 minute, which would have been after, and then broke 1 minute structure to the downside, which would have been this candle close. So anyway, once we see all this chop here, and we see a lot of these 1 minute highs being generated within this said chop, there's oftentimes we see a 1 minute push to the upside, a sweep of all these levels here, to then rotate us lower. This is generating, you know, easy liquidity here to move us then lower. That's what happens most of the time, and this is what has happened a bunch of the times I've been stopped out exactly on my trades. I'll enter in like here and then risk above these 1 minute highs on sometimes, and then I'll get exact ticked out before we end up moving price lower. But so if price was going to go and hit our targets for the day after I entered in this trade, after it swept these 1 minute highs and then gave us a bearish reaction as it did, I entered in just a little bit more and then ended up getting immediately stopped out. And I just ended up being wrong on this one on the day. I've just not been seeing the market clearly. What we ended up doing was ultimately coming up, sweeping out all-time highs, and then rotating and dumping it to take out every single target that I have had marked. So knew where price wanted to go, just not in the time it wanted to, which is unfortunate, but that's just that's just the name of the game. Took this loss. I would like to say that I would take this trade again, but I just need to step back and reevaluate in general. I'm trading within chop against the high time frame trend. I'm getting tunnel vision on what the targets are looking like and not paying attention to what the order flow is looking like on the higher time frame. I mean, we've been zone bound, as you can see. Just let me go to that early. I mean, we've just been this grinding, slow grind chop up, respecting the 4 hour order flow. I'm getting in on what are essentially retracements on the hourly and higher time frame to then move us higher. But I was tunnel visioned on all these draws on liquidity. I saw the 5 minute disrespectful order flow. Still contemplating if it's a bad trade. I don't think it was too bad of a trade, but that's just me sitting here thinking in hindsight. I'm gonna have to journal a little bit more on this one, and I'm really just gonna have to wait for when we have higher time frame SMTs favoring the current order flow. So we do not have any higher time frame SMTs on this trade. That's something that I look for most of the time. It's just been over trading on my part is what this has been. So I'm gonna have to reflect on this one. But this was Thursday's trade recap, and thank you.